You know, there's something powerful that once you just sort of embrace the fact that in order to achieve something big, you've got to get rid of these distractions, you're probably going to have some suffering to get there, or some sacrifice to get there. Suffering and sacrifice and hard work is an indication of progress towards our dreams. The lack of sacrifice, the lack of suffering in our lives, its removal, its non-existence, also equates to a non-existence of a great life.
The darkness. The sun doesn't shine every day. The storms will come. There are times when the nights will be long and dark and you will be alone. There will be times when the darkness seems to consume everything. But don't let it consume you. Don't let it consume you.
See, the point is, you don't know how much future you've got. What's gone is gone. There's absolutely nothing you can do about it. Some of you have had terrible things happen in the past. But what's gone is gone. It's been past. And to spend your time focusing on the past is to spend the only thing that you've got, and that's what's right here, right now, because the sand never stops running. This is all we've got. And to spend your time now thinking of what happened there is making absolute certain that the future is going to be the same as the past. Now, I don't suppose many of us spend a lot of time thinking about that, but a lot of us spend a lot of time making that error.
And the only way you create a new flow is you start living in intentionality. Everything that you do is on purpose. Everything that you do is for purpose. Everything that you do is purpose. If there's no purpose in it, free yourself from it. Do you hear me? If there's no purpose in it, free yourself from it. If that relationship, that friendship, that partnership has no purpose in it, free yourself from it. That habit, if it has no purpose in it, free yourself from it. How you spend your time, if it has no purpose in it, free yourself from it. That environment, if it has no purpose in it, free yourself from it. Because when you don't live intentionally in your life, you do random stuff. And when you do random stuff, you get a random result.
Some people are not equipped to handle the altitudes that you're going to. So don't be afraid when they fall off. They're not bad people. They just couldn't go where you're going.
The man who loves walking will walk further than the man who loves the destination. When you love the journey, the goals just happen. You hit milestones as a side effect. Because it doesn't matter. At that point, I don't care if I can lift this much weight or run this fast. I mean, that's cool, but I don't love it as much as I love the journey. I love the journey. What does the journey consist of? Sucking at something, failing, getting better, learning, start it over, do it again. When you fall in love with the journey, everything else takes care of itself.
Who you gonna be next year? Is you gonna materialize your dreams? You gonna go after everything you said you wanted to have for yourself last year that you didn't do this year? What you gonna do? Ask yourself that. Who you gonna become? Who you gonna be? Stop playing games. You don't like who you is, recreate yourself. You don't like what's going on in your life? No, recreate that.
You can change the chapters in the book of your life if you want to. You could decide now, I'm gonna walk, talk, and be a different person. You decide that. You're the lead character in the story of your life. But too many of you let what I call the extras of life dictate where you're going. How about you start playing the game for the main characters? Your mom, your dad, your children, you. That's who you play the game for.
You can fucking achieve the absolute impossible. You don't need a private school. What you need is what's your straight up, brutal work ethic. You have to be willing to outwork everybody in the world.
Happiness is usually a result. If I get this, then. If I get to the top of that mountain, then I'll have the ta-da moment of, oh, I've got it. Oh, I figured it out, which is all BS. Because they're all false peaks. They're not false peaks, but they're never the peak.
You gotta get real dogs. You gotta get downright funky if you wanna make it. Now, like I was telling you before, if you wanna be ordinary, you ain't even gotta listen to me. Just go on about your business. If you think ordinary's cool, ain't no problem. It's some really, really wonderful ordinary people. But if you are sitting in this room and you have extraordinary aspirations, then you're gonna have to do extra.
You're not all you could be, and there's pain in that. And there's the necessity for a certain amount of judgment about that, and even a certain amount of exclusion, because what you are that is insufficient, in some sense, should not be allowed to propagate further. But, you know, here's some things about you that are virtuous and good, and they're pretty powerful, actually, and if you just made those more manifest, you could dispense with a lot of this immaturity and misery, and you could start walking this pathway that makes things better. And the thing is that as soon as you start walking the pathway that makes things better, then things immediately become better, because your whole orientation changes. And you know, if you're in a bad place but you're escaping, that's pretty positive.
So find 5 reasons that empower you. Why is it that you deserve your goal? What are the 5 reasons that you won't give up when life catches you on the blind side? When the messenger of misery visits you, what are you going to do? What will keep you in the game when life knocks you to the canvas?
You have got to change the way you think. It is the whole determining factor of where you go in life. We are all where we are today because we thought ourselves to this position. If you don't like the position, think yourself out of it. Change your attitude, you change your altitude.
But what a lot of us do is we talk ourselves right out of it, because the first thing that we do is we ignore our soul and we pay attention to the world. We ignore what our soul is telling us, and we go try to find validation in the world to bring credibility or discredit what our soul is telling us. Your soul is connected to God.
You'll let go of your stories. You'll let go of your excuses. You'll let go of all the reasons you currently have that are formulating your identity of yourself. And you'll learn how to let that go and become who you are destined to become.
All the obstacles that you overcome in life is what makes life worth living. It's what proves that you have a purpose. It's what develops you. It's the hardships that make you hard. And when you become hard, you can stand up against things and not wilt. Do not wait to strike when the iron is hot. Strike the iron until it becomes hot. Attack everything. Become something more. You see, the greatest thing to lose in life is not life, because death is not the greatest loss. The greatest loss is to die inside while you're still alive. Every one of us can rise, no matter what your background or origin has been. You are not the result of somebody's mistake or sin. You are someone because God made you to be phenomenal, and you will rise. Whatever it is you've gone through, it is a training ground to give you the experience and the backbone that's necessary so that you can stand firm and stand strong against whatever comes up against you. The storms of life will come, but that storm must also have an eye. And in the eye of that storm is I. It's you. To stand there and say that the storm around me may swirl and the winds may rise, but I rise with it. I will survive it because there's something great in me that's got to come out. I will rise. I will rise. Out of the surety of defeat, I can rise and win because I am a child of the great I am.
Suffering is a byproduct of the unknown. And that's why we will project out into the future and go, what if? Because suffering does introduce a man, or discomfort does introduce a man or a woman to their highest self. I call it the other room. Like in your head, in everybody's head, like there's this other place that you can go to. You may have been there before. And this other room, this other place, you get to meet your other self.
The comfort zone is dangerous. When you're comfortable, you are at most dangerous. You should never feel comfortable. You should be happy and dissatisfied. You should never be satisfied with what you got. Because the attempt to get more makes you into something better all the time.
Lazy people do a little work and think they should be winning, but winners work as hard as possible and still worry if they're being lazy. Damn it, motherfucker! Always win. So listen to me, there are those of you saying, I want to be a millionaire, I want to be the best at this company, right? But your value system says you believe in sleep more than you believe in grinding. Your value system says you are a consumer and not a producer. That you're spending more money than you're making. Why? Because you're a consumer, but you're reading all the books and you're saying everything the books are saying, but those books are not in alignment with your value. And if you're going to go to the next level, your values are going to have to change. Now, how do you hang in there during the hard, difficult times, Les? You must have faith. You've got to believe in yourself. You've got to believe in your abilities. You've got to believe in your service, your company, your ideas, unquestionably. You got to have faith, and that faith gives you patience. That is not going to happen as quickly as you want it to happen. A lot of things are going to happen that will catch you off guard. And so therefore you've got to deal with and handle it as it comes. And not only that, but that faith and patience drives you into action.
Is a greater threat to progress than hardship.
You have to follow. You have to be dedicated. You have to give it your all. You have to get up before others do. You might have to sacrifice sleep on some nights in order to achieve things that others have never thought about doing. You must think outside the box and then stand on that box and remind folks that they can do it because you do. There is a roadmap to success, and it's narrow and it's hard, but it is God-directed and God-given. You cannot do it alone, but if you do it, you will find that there are those who will see you and follow your lead.
And through strength and through will and through unwavering discipline, I will become what I want to be.
You know how many stories of potential it is in the world? You know how many stories of potential of cats that have the juice, and then you see them 5-10 years later, and they blaming the institution, and they blaming the coach because they didn't have the heart, integrity, and character to show up every single day and do what they said they were going to do? Stories of potential. Stories of cats telling them how great they were destined to be. When I say bitch, it's not gender specific. It's a mindset. It means weak, soft, feel sorry for yourself. Get your ass up and lacing up. Stay home. You've never looked at yourself in the mirror and said, you let you die. Until you get to that point, you let you die. You're not brave enough. You want to put it on somebody else. The reason why I'm not successful is because of my boss. Have you ever looked at yourself in the mirror and said, I'm not getting up on time. I'm not going to work on time. I'm not putting in 120% when I'm at work.
You're here to make a difference. You're here to make an impact. You're here to leave an imprint on earth. That's why we have that dash from the day you were born to the day that we die. And in that dash, the difference we make can echo long into eternity.